Hey everybody, watch this review here with my first State of Play. Now State of Play is going to be a segment in which I discuss what's coming up on the pipeline, various production problems I'm facing, in addition to, I don't know, just whatever's on my mind. This might be a handy reference to anybody else who's also starting out doing these little reviews and everything, but I think a lot of my problems are probably unique to me, just because right now I'm filming everything on PS3 iToy because I got it cheap. It came with Eye of Judgment, which I picked up really cheap at Walmart some time ago for $30. I think the actual iToy runs for like $40, so that was a pretty kick-ass deal getting a game, which now has trophy support. Actually, I've got to go back and play that just to rack up a few more trophies, get my level up a little bit. But getting off topic. Now today's feature figures are Odin and Sleipnir, box set together. They were from the ArtFX Final Fantasy VIII line. Well, Final Fantasy VIII Creatures line. I'm not sure how many other lines ArtFX have had. I wasn't really familiar with them before finding these figures. I reviewed these guys, and I reviewed the clear Cerberus, but because of length prohibitions, I can't upload them on YouTube. I mean, I can reshoot part of the Cerberus one just to make it fit, but there's nothing I can do for about Odin right now, so I figured I'd give everybody a look at him and Sleipnir, because both of them are really kick-ass looking figures while I discuss the various production problems I'm facing. To just jump right to it, the problem that's first and foremost in my mind is possibly the complete lack of any real editing software. Right now I'm just using the in-house software that comes with a PS3, and while I'm doing this, typically I'm watching on the screen. But it really doesn't work out all that great because I've been refilming segments, and I don't know, the whole overall effort's messy. Let me just fix my screen for a second. It's actually using my PS3 for games tonight, so, you know, I mean, what a novel idea, you know, actually using a gaming system for games instead of the cool computing functions it can do. That's crazy, right? Now, one reason not to switch to a PS3 Slim, all the computer software and stuff for the secondary OS has been disabled on the Slim. So if you want to install Linux and then use it as a portable computer, you can't do that. Now, I commented on this numerous times, but ArtFX figures seem to have some major joint issues. It's a very cool looking figure besides that, right? I really like the sculpt, I like the paint job. I mean, you can't really tell. Actually, the lighting's better than it's been previously, but the armor matting effect is just really great, and I love the paint. Possible errors on the horns, but it's a nice figure besides that. Anyway, the two big problems I've been having so far have been editing, because I don't have any real editing software, no real way to edit. I can piece together smaller clips by going through the editing functions in the iShare, but, or whatever, I forget what the program's called. The detailing in this Sleipnir is crazy, by the way. If you look at that face. I think the lighting problem's mostly fixed. I was almost gonna go to just filming in the morning so I could just get natural daylight, but I started using my fluorescent lamp, or I forget what it's called. It's just one of those newer bulbs, so I think this will come out looking a lot nicer than usual, but I can't be sure. Odin can ride in Sleipnir, by the way, so I haven't tried it just because the joints are just so faulty. Now, in terms of what's coming up at this point, at some point I have to review my Monkey Man. I'm going to be looking at Spider-Man 2099, the KB exclusive. Where's the other thing? I was going to do a Hobgoblin showcase, but it's going to take me forever just to get through one Hobgoblin, in particular the Spider-Man Classics Wave 2. Because, I mean, it's got a good amount of articulation, a ton of stuff you can do with it, because it's got a detachable I guess cloak. The entire thing is called the cloak, but the upper part I guess you'd call a cowl. The cowl detaches, the cape detaches. I hate the face in this, but it was really progressive for its time. They ended up recycling the sculpt maybe 4 or 5 times. I'll just go into all that later though. Now, I also have to do the Black Queen and White Queen. I want to take a look at 2 comics, well, comic movie comparisons, and that would be Frank Miller's Sin City and Watchmen. Now, Watchmen, I really like this. I think it's a lot better than the movie, but I didn't think the movie is spectacular except for the segment with Marv. But I mean, this, The Yellow Bastard is just a great, great story. Now, Watchmen, so far, I'm maybe a third into, haven't been as impressed with. I mean, a lot of stuff just looked a lot better on film, but I'll discuss that in time. Now, in terms of additional reviews, I still have to look at my 2 Watchmen figures. Comedian. It's the normal, not the variant. And Ozymandias. I wonder if they had a variant for him. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up. I mean, I don't like his mask. I mean, I've hesitated to do those just because so many people have already weighed in on them. I've also got to look at Onslaught at some point. Just because he's sitting around. I also want to look at Mojo as well, and probably the Spiral and a few others. Plus, I should probably just take a picture of my Bowen Hobgoblin, because I was going to include him in these Hobgoblin. Sorry, I hit one of those aforementioned hiccups. There's a total file size limit in iCreate. That's the name of the program, not iShare. It's actually just on the top of the thing, so I get cut off. Like I was saying, I was going to do a full Hobgoblin segment, but each of the components do seem to take up a bit of time, although I think there'll probably be a bit of redundancy when I'm discussing the animated series and so forth, and the comics, just because there's a lot of history to the guy. And it's just a little ironic that Mark Hamill, who voiced the Hobgoblin in the animated series, played one of the most iconic heroes of all time, Luke Skywalker, but then ended up doing the voice work for, I think, close to a dozen different villains, including the Joker from the Batman animated series, Hobgoblin, of course. Then he played some bits for some DC roles, like, I think he was... It wasn't Firefly, but he was the other one, the, shoot, can't remember his name offhand. I'll add it in later, plus just various little characters. The other thing I was going to look at was the Agents of Atlas comic book, which I recently finished. I'm not sure if anybody's familiar with it, but I pretty much enjoyed it, so it deserves a mention. But I'm nearly hitting the 10 minutes. Now, the biggest concern I'm having going forward is I've been trying to do more niche products because a lot of the other bigger people have covered the bigger titles, and usually better too, but I'm not sure at which point I should fade in now the niche categories. I mean, at some point I've got to look at all the various video game figures I own that aren't as articulate, but I think I'll toss them all and set into a single showcase. Well, for now, that's all I'll possibly do. Sorry about the last 2 minutes where I have nothing in shot, because it's probably a little bit boring, but having a still figure is probably a little boring anyway. I haven't mentioned video games yet. I will probably be doing video games things, but I already do written reviews elsewhere, so I'm not sure how relevant all that is. Plus, production-wise, I'm not sure I can really accommodate it. I mean, people have seen how they've looked on the other ones I've done, so. But for now, yeah, I'll probably have a bunch of stuff coming out next week or so, depending on how all this goes, so stay tuned.